What up, YouTube? Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Gilbert Arenas plays for the Washington Wizards. Star NBA player, has a 7-year deal, 111 million, something like that. I forgot the years, but the contract overall is 111 million. Got suspended indefinitely, okay, for having a gun in the locker room. Now, I'm not sure if the gun, allegedly the gun wasn't loaded, it was just an empty gun, but reports say that he actually had a gun in the locker room and it was supposed to be a prank, yada yada yada, okay? So, got suspended indefinitely. You know, David Stern pretty much said he didn't want that type of conduct in his, or a player that would do something like that is unfit to step court in the NBA. So, based off of the tone of his suspension, I have no clue when he's going to be back. And to be real, he probably is gone for the whole season, in my opinion. He's probably going to be gone for the whole season. It's not even like they're in contention. It's not like they're a top tier team. And I think that even adds to the whole idea of cracking the whip. All right, so I had a short conversation with my boy, and he was just like, is it really fair? He knows it gives the NBA a black eye, but other players have done things to give the NBA a black eye, and they weren't fined or suspended in the same manner that Gilbert Arenas is being treated. Yeah, but he misses the whole point. He brought up the whole idea of Ron Artest. Now, I'm not defending Ron Artest because he's on my squad, the Lakers now, but understand what happened. Yes, Ron Artest gave the league a black eye when he went into the stands and got into a fight with that dude at Detroit when he was on the Pacers. Gave the league a black eye. He got suspended. Of course, he needs to be suspended. But in terms of me defending that, I can defend that. Okay, another man threw a beer on him. Okay, a white fan threw a beer on a black athlete. If we went to court, I can defend it. I can defend it. So it's a black guy, but to me personally, I can justify what happened. We're all men here. I don't believe in this whole bullshit. You know, we have to hold people to higher standards. No, men are men. I require men to act the same at all times. I don't do this whole, well, he's making this much and he's in this position. No, men are men. We have to conduct ourselves in a certain way. Right? So at the end of the day, I'm not even condoning, but I can argue for Ron Artest, because how many people would just stay calm in that situation as well? Really? How many people? Not too many. But he tried to make a parallel to that and what was going on with Gilbert Arenas. And it's not the same. First of all, it's not the same. If you bring a loaded gun or just a real gun, even if it doesn't have bullets, anywhere, you're going to get fired. Anywhere. You're going to get fired. Any place in the world, nowhere is it okay to bring a gun, a real gun, even without bullets, to a workplace. That's common sense. I think even the most hoodest of hood dudes would know that, hey, I'm on my job, I'm not going to bring my gun inside. Yeah, I may leave it in my car or, you know, somewhere else, but I'm not going to actually bring it on the premises of my job. You know, there's no way I can defend myself. I'm going to get fired immediately. Simple as that. There's no question there. So anybody who wants to come on and act as if somehow, you know, what's happening to Gilbert Arenas isn't fair, to me, is stupid. You go bring a gun to where you work, an unloaded gun. Bring a fake gun and see what happens to you. Let alone if they don't accidentally shoot you, because no one wants any sort of terrorist attack or even assumed terrorist threat. And we already know about, you know, when people are disgruntled at work or disgruntled at home, they may come in and just shoot up their coworkers. So please, you try to bring a gun anywhere and see what happens. So but if you look at the details, is it that serious? Can some people out there make the claim that we're making a big deal, especially if you understand the dynamics of a locker room and just what goes on with just athletes and, you know, maybe in football, basketball? Are we going a little bit overboard in terms of just the nature of the locker room? I would say so, but the fact of the matter is he got caught. It's as simple as that. He got caught. Does it happen? Yeah, it probably does. He's not the only player that will bring a gun to an NBA arena or a football arena, whatever, and even have it out there, but he got caught. Simple as that. You have to know the risk. You knew what you were doing, it was pretty much illegal. You didn't know, you can't tell me he knew what he was doing was legal, prank or no prank. So he got caught. So at the end of the day, he forced somebody's hand. See, what people don't understand is, I can agree with you. I can say, hey, I feel like how you're being treated is unfair. But if my hand is forced, and my job is on the line, or my reputation, or how I make a living is on the line, my hand is forced. I have to do what I have to do. For an example, I was on a job, I believe this was last year, and I covered for another teacher on my period off, because we had 6 periods, but we only teach 5. So we have 1 period, and we call it a prep period, where we get ready for the next day or whatever. So a teacher was out, I was covering for his class during my prep period. And 2 students had been going back and forth in class, said stop it. 1 student persisted on getting on another student, called his mother the bitch and all this other stuff. Dude punched him in the face. Punched him in the face. I saw it. I wasn't mad, to be real with you. Dude had it coming. Like I said before, you can't say something to people and expect people not to get mad. Kids or no kids, right? And I believe in kids punishing other kids. Sometimes that's the best lesson learned. Right? Sometimes a kid needs his ass whipped to know when to shut up. And that kid needed an ass whooping, not from an adult or parent, a principal or another teacher. He needed his ass whooped by another student. He needed to be taught a lesson by another student. I believe in that. So he got punched in the face. I wasn't mad at the kid who punched him. If it was up to me, hey, let the kid cry, he move on, he learned his lesson. But my hand was forced. Unfortunately, I had to report both of them to the office, and they both got suspended. And I felt bad for the kid who punched him, because I felt like he had every right to punch the kid. But my hand was forced, because if the kid that got punched went home and told his parents, or even the kid that threw the punch told his parent, right, and it came back that I didn't file a report, my ass is on the line. So I could lose my job, or, be suspended or be fired, or just have it on my record. Oh, poor classroom management, right? So my hand was forced in that position. And I told the kid, hey man, I feel for you, but you understand I have to do what I have to do. And that was it. And even the kid understood, right? He was old enough to understand I had to do what I had to do. Right? He told me, hey, I hope you understand too, I had to do what I had to do. He can't talk to me like that. And I agreed, and I shook the kid's hand. But at the end of the day, I had to do what I had to do. I think even the administrator of discipline knew too. But unfortunately, based off of the laws, and all it takes is one parent to complain, they had to suspend the kid. So that is an example of having your hand forced. Okay, even if David Stern or the discipline committee, I don't even know if the NBA has a committee like that. I'm sure they do. Even if they reviewed all the facts of the case and said, okay, it wasn't that bad based off of what goes on in the locker room, their hands are forced. You can't have somebody bring a gun that can kill people, bullets or no bullets, right, and not punish the dude, because it's not okay anywhere else. You can't. So in regards to those who feel, that Gilbert Arenas got a bad rap, I don't think so. Really, I don't. Because if you're on your job, okay, and somebody does something where your hand is forced, and if you don't act accordingly, you can lose your job or lose your reputation, or it can hurt how you support yourself and your family, what are you going to do? You're going to act accordingly because somebody forced your hand, right? And at the end of the day, you can't really defend what he did. Like I said before in closing, I understand Ron Artest gave the League a black eye and the other players stay giving the League a black eye. But at the end of the day, you can defend their behavior, because most of the time it takes place off of the court, off of the workplace. So Steven Jackson, who shot a gun off in a club, right, he even said, I wouldn't bring a club to the locker room, or a gun to the locker room. He even said it. So there's a difference between doing what you're going to do, foolish or non-foolish, outside of the workplace, versus what you're doing on the workplace, at the job. So hopefully people can understand this, and because to me, to defend this situation really kind of shows people who are going to defend Gilbert Arenas are not thinking clearly, are not putting two and two together and understanding the whole idea of having a hand forced. So anyways, I think I made my point. You guys take it easy. God bless.